Hey yo, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey yo, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Say it loud, say it proud. Hey yo, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey yo, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hands held up high, tears in our eyes. We are still standing, we choose to rise. Hey, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Say their names, say their names. We remember, we remain. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Say it loud, say it proud. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. No more fear, no backing down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Say their names, say their names. We remember, we remain. Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-yo, hey-yo, hey-yo.
Delco Indivisible would like to welcome everybody to this vigil. For the folks who are holding the names of victims who died while in ICE custody, if you would like to line up, each of these folks is representing somebody murdered by our government.
My name is Marie and I am part of Delco Indivisible. If you had told me when I was in 8th grade the importance of paying attention when we reviewed the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, I would have thought you were crazy. But here we are. I took some time this past few weeks to review who we are as a nation and how we got here. James Madison wrote the first 10 amendments to the Constitution making up the Bill of Rights as a solution to limit the governmental power and protect individuals' liberties through the Constitution. The First Amendment states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or the press or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The First Amendment was written to protect freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and the right to petition the government. These rights were written to limit the power of the federal government and protect individuals' civil liberties. These are our rights granted by the Founding Fathers.
Friends, I am the Reverend Laura Solomon, minister at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Delaware County. I am here today because, like you, I am raging. Like you, I am grieving. Like you, I am horrified by a government that continues to choose cruelty and violence. As a white, non-binary person, I know that I do not bear the same risks that so many of our neighbors do. My body is not policed in the same way. I am not forced to wonder whether a routine errand could end in detention or deportation or death. And yet, I believe in those words spoken by Black activist and organizer Fannie Lou Hamer, nobody is free until everybody is free. And that is why we have a moral obligation to speak and to act. As a person of faith and moral conscience, we are called to resist the structures of empire, tyranny, and fascism bearing down on us today. The violence we are seeing is not new. This violence is the violence of slave patrols, of systemic oppression and fundamental injustice that has always been present in this country. It is not new. And while we gather today with outrage, we also gather to grieve. We grieve for Lorenzo. We grieve for Johan, Sebastian. We gather to grieve the at least 23 people killed in ICE custody this year. We grieve the over 60,000 people in detention. We gather to grieve, to lament, because grieving is sacred work. It reminds us of what we have lost. We have lost humans, valuable members of our society. We have lost some of our own humanity. And so lament grounds us in the holiness of life. It reminds us of our humanity, our own capacity for love, for empathy, and compassion. Author Cole Arthur Riley writes, "Our hope can only be as deep as our lament is, and our lament is only as deep as our hope." Lament, she said, is not a threat to our survival, but a means to it. It is how hope knows where to go. Lament is how hope knows where to go. Lament tells hope where healing is needed. Lament refuses denial. It refuses numbness. Lament is how we tell the truth about what we see, what we feel, what we know to be true. People throughout time and customs have engaged in spiritual practices of lament because we know in our core that pretending everything is fine is its own kind of violence. Lament requires us to stay awake, to feel what would be easier not to feel, to refuse the temptation to scroll past suffering, to refuse the lie that this is simply the way things are. The danger is not that we grieve too much. The danger is that we stop grieving altogether. Because when we stop grieving, we stop imagining another way. And when we stop imagining another way, injustice becomes ordinary. We refuse to allow injustice to become ordinary. We choose to stand in our humanity with our outrage and our grief intact. Cole Arthur Riley continues her reflection on lament by saying, "In lament, our task is never to convince someone of the brokenness of this world. It is to convince them of the world's worth in the first place. True lament is not born from that trite sentiment that the world is bad, but rather from a deep conviction that it is worthy of goodness." We come here today grieving not only because our world is broken. We are not raging because our country is beyond repair, but because we know in our souls that this country, that all people, that we are worthy and capable of goodness and love. We are capable of creating a world and a country, a community that places love at the center. We are capable of being a people who demand freedom, justice, and liberty for all. We are capable of being a people who protect our neighbors until we live in a country where our neighbors no longer need protection from our government. And so my ask of you today is that you do this work, this hard work of holding your grief and engaging with the practice of lament.
The Fourth Amendment protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures and requires warrants to be backed by probable cause. It states the rights of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. No warrants shall issue without probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized.
My name is Beth Gargan, and I am a member of Delco Indivisible. What we do individually and collectively matters. As many of you know, Citizens Bank finances, or rather used to finance, the GEO Group and Core Civic. Both organizations run for-profit prisons and detention centers. The GEO Group runs both the Moshannon Valley Processing Center and Delaney Hall. Located above State College, the Moshannon Valley Processing Center is the largest for-profit detention center in the Northeast. Last August, Matt, Peggy, and I attended a statewide rally at a park near the Moshannon Valley Processing Center. What I heard from the speakers, specifically the ones who either had been in Moshannon or had relatives of those currently there, just about broke me. One after the other described the horrifying situations that either they or their loved ones dealt with inside Moshannon. Harsh, unsafe, punitive conditions, woefully inadequate medical care, and spoiled food, often containing maggots. We learned afterward that those detained at Moshannon were punished for us being there. They were kept in their cells all day long. One of the speakers told us that several weeks before this rally, she drove for 4 hours to take her cousin's baby to Moshannon so that he could see his daughter for the very first time. She waited in line for hours, only to be denied entry. During the rally, Peggy and I were sitting behind 3 Hispanic women and a baby. We spoke with the women, commenting about how adorable the baby was. During a break, the women got up to leave. I said goodbye to them. They replied that they were just going to change the baby's diaper. Several minutes later, the woman who spoke about being denied entrance to Moshannon approached us. When she noticed the absence of the 3 women and the baby, she froze. The look of abject terror on her face was one that I will never forget. I quickly told her that they were just doing a diaper change. She fell into my arms and we both sobbed. She had assumed that they had been taken. At a Delco Indivisible meeting shortly after this visit, Peggy asked me to head up the Citizens Action for Delco Indivisible. I told her that when I joined DI, it was as a worker bee, not a queen bee. In her inimitable manner, she retorted that I could just be a worker bee that told other worker bees what to do. When we first started these citizens' protests last November, it felt whimsical, like tilting at windmills. It was something that I did to make myself feel better about what was happening in Trump's horrific version of our country. Yes. Along the way, other like-minded groups joined together to form the De-ICE Coalition. Because of each one of you who showed up in all kinds of weather, even when you didn't feel like it, David took on Goliath and won. Last Friday, citizens announced that it was severing financial ties with the GO Group and Core Civic. You all are rock stars. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Even though we may not always believe it, and we may become discouraged at times, we have the power to make a difference, individually and collectively. Every phone call, every letter, every time that we say no more, every time we stand in solidarity at a protest, we manifest our power. Today we have a call to action for you. The Moshannon contract with GEO is up at the end of September. There are 3 Clearfield County commissioners who are going to vote either to renew the contract or not. One commissioner has confirmed no, he doesn't want GEO there. The other 2 are yeses. We have postcards here, and after a while, we're going to ask you to use these postcards to send a simple message to the commissioners. Vote no on GEO. Vote no on GEO. Together, let's do John Lewis proud and continue to make good trouble.
The Supreme Court repeatedly affirmed that constitutional rights and protections apply to all persons physically present on U.S. soil, regardless of their citizenship or legal status. Due process and equal protection in both the 5th and 14th Amendments guarantees fair and legal procedures before the government can deprive anyone of life, liberty, property, and this means undocumented immigrants who are entitled to a hearing before an immigration judge to contest deportation. The 5th Amendment guarantees essential protections in both criminal and legal proceedings. In 1791, it was ratified as part of the Bill of Rights to ensure that citizens cannot be subjected to unfair government treatment that places limits on the government's power of eminent domain.
Sirens in the night, people asking why. We all stand together, we won't pass it by. Hey-ho, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Heads held up high, tears in our eyes. We are still standing, we choose to rise. Hey-ho, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-ho, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Say it loud, say it proud. Hey-ho, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-ho, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Say their names, say their names. We remember, we remain. Hey-ho, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-ho, we won't be silent while our friends are gunned down. Hey-yo, 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 hey-yo.
Friends, our lament, our grief, our rage is not silent. And so I'm going to ask us all to take a moment of quiet as we reflect on what is most on our minds and hearts. We are going to write on postcards that will be sent to our commissioners, voting no to Monshannon, no to all the things that Beth said. Vote no. And we are going to have other cards in which we are going to write down our laments. The things that are keeping you up at night, the thoughts that are keeping you awake and churning, write them down. We will then place them in the coffin, and they will be delivered to our representatives to let them know how we feel, how we, the people, feel, how we are reacting to their violence. Friends, if we leave today with tears but no transformation, then our lament has not yet finished its work. History has never been changed by people who simply agreed that something was wrong. History changes because ordinary people decide that others' suffering is their responsibility.
That's right.
That is the invitation before us. Not simply to witness, not simply to condemn, but to become people whose lives interrupt injustice. If we pray but never show up, if we mourn but never organize, if we feel compassion but never risk anything for our neighbors, we are complacent with the evil that is happening around us. So our job now is to allow ourselves to grieve the incredible loss of life and liberty we are witnessing, and we grieve and we call our elected officials, and we engage in nonviolent direct action when our conscience requires it of us, and we refuse cooperation with cruelty, and we work to make it harder for injustice to operate in our communities. The people whose names we remember today deserved long lives. They deserved safety. They deserved to come home. The least we can do is ensure they are not forgotten. What we must do is build a country where all people have the freedom to live. May our grief become courage. May our courage become action. And may our action become justice. Amen.
Hey-oh, we won't be silent while our friends are